Put the kids to bed. Dad's home. We are the dWo podcast, representing the dad world order. I am the pretty face papaw, Mr. Magnificent Mike Martin. With me, as always, the rest of this patriarch pack. We've got the big bad bearded daddy. He is Big Rig Eric Meffy.
I'll hear me, baby. Let's go.
I always feel like I put I pronunciate your last name incorrectly. Every time I hear it, I'm like, I need to perfect that. Either way, it's a work in progress. And he is the perpetual mid-carter and the two-time world record holder. He is the wrestling t-shirt guy, Bo Cephas.
Cowabunga indeed, day 1287 of a mystifying conspiracy theory world record, if you will. It's Danhausen shirt.
You love that all over print, man. That is for sure.
Fucking dude, it's my favorite Danhausen shirt by far.
Oh yeah, I can't say I blame you there.
The purple one's pretty cool, but you know,
yeah, that one's cool.
I like when you play that, or you play out and you wear that shirt.
Yeah,
a lot. It's one of my favorite ones to rock. I don't know what I'm gonna. I got a bunch of cool shows coming up here soon, but I don't know what I'm gonna rock for them. I got some new stuff I got to put out. But speaking of new stuff, that's what we're here for tonight, boys.
That's right. We, as Mr. Magnificent said, we are the dWo podcast. And tonight, we are debuting a new series. You've seen our newest series, which is our Because I Said So series. This one, get a little out there, all right? Fathers on the Fringe. Yeah. Think of it as a Twilight Zone meets Ripley's Believe It or Not meets every conspiracy theory you've ever heard in your life, and we're just going to talk about them and hear stories and see if we believe it or not.
Yeah,
sounds like fun to me.
And I figured, what better topic to start with first than alien abduction? Alien abduction, I think, is one of the first things I was ever truly scared of in my life.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know if it was just because of all the 90s sitcoms that seemed to have some form of Mork and Mindy style episode, or if it was Mork and Mindy itself. But I feel like I've always been a little worried about aliens.
Bro, did you ever see a movie called Communion with Christopher Walken?
That movie's fucking nuts.
It's terrifying.
No, I don't think I ever saw it.
I watched that when I was a kid, and it cost me a lot of sleep. Let me say that.
Bro, same. You know those, what do you call it? Oh, gosh. Crypt Keeper movies with the fucking old dude. I forget. Tales of the Crypt.
Tales from the Crypt, yeah.
In a movie called Bordello of Blood. And I remember I saw that at like 9 years old. If you don't know what a bordello is, it's basically a prostitution house. What? And it's full of vampires that are also prostitutes. And I was like 8, not even knowing what a prostitute was, scared to death of that movie. But, you know, that's not aliens. Anyways, today's episode, like we said, is about alien abduction. So I got a couple stories, 3 to be specific, that I'm going to bring to you guys, and then we can discuss them as we go along. But then at the end, I got a few questions for you guys. So there's a little bit of structure to this. So
I like it.
The first, do you I want to show you this photo right here. Do you know who these 2 people are?
Do not.
That is Betty and Barney Hill. And if you look down there in the middle, do you see their little doggy? That's Delcy. That's Delcy.
Delcy, is Delcy a dachshund?
Yeah, Delcy was a very cool dog.
Okay.
And she's part of the story, so I figured I would make sure that I noted that she was in that photo. But they have one of the most interesting alien abduction stories of all time. So, if I may set the tone here, we're talking 10:30 p.m. September 19th of 1961. They're driving home from a vacation in Niagara Falls, just south of New Hampshire, Lancaster area. Okay, and they saw a big bright light in the sky that moved below the moon and then upward to like the west tip of the moon. And it really kind of was like, well, what is that? So as they're traveling down the road, Betty thought she was observing a falling star, except it started to move upward. It started to move erratically, bigger and brighter.
You're breaking up, Bo.
Am I breaking up?
No, you're good now.
Okay. Anyways, where did I start breaking up at? I need to make sure.
Traveling down the road.
Okay, so he's traveling down the road. It grows bigger, brighter, so on and so forth. And they urged him to stop the car to get a closer look, and also to let Delcy out to go potty. So they stop at a little picnic area just south of an area called Twin Mountain, right? So they happen to have binoculars in the car, so they pull the binoculars out and they observe an odd-shaped craft flashing multicolored lights all across the moon, and it seems like it's heading towards them. So, Barney thought it was a plane, but as he grabbed the binoculars and he looked through it, he decided, holy crap, that's not a plane. So they wanted to keep following it and see what it was, because it kind of started heading away from them. So they started driving kind of slow, but trying to stay up with it. And they're catching up to it, and they get close to this place called Old Man of the Mountain. And you can look up photos of this. I wasn't able to find a photo of the exact cliff that they were talking about, but there's a cliff that the light started to crest over. And the cliff itself is about 40 feet wide, and it was about twice the width of that. Okay, so they're freaking out, and they decide that they got too close, right? So they decided to run away. They decided to drive away. So they're heading south, and all of a sudden the craft starts to follow them. They get close to them, about 80 to 100 feet away, and then filled their entire view of their car. It's right in front of them on the road. And according to Barney, it looked like a huge giant pancake in the road. Okay, so carrying his pistol with him, he decided to get out of the car again, stop the vehicle.
Oh wait, Barney's strapped?
Yeah, Barney's strapped, dog. Barney's got
one bullet.
One bullet.
One bullet, but he's ready to go. He's ready to go. So, but using these binoculars again, he claims that he saw 8 to 11 humanoid figures who were peering out of the craft's windows, seeming to look at him. In unison, all but one figure moved to what appeared to be a panel near the rear wall of the hallway that encircled the front portion of the craft. Then this figure that remained looking at him communicated a message to him through his head, telling him to stay where he was and keep looking. Barney had a recollection of observing these humanoid forms wearing glossy black uniforms and capes. They had red lights on what appeared to be bat wing fins that telescoped out of the sides of the craft, and a long structure descended from the bottom of the craft. So this is like the most outrageous Batwing alien thing that you could possibly think of, is basically what they're saying. So,
man, can you imagine somebody in 1963 hearing this fucking story?
I imagine it happened at any time, but you're definitely fucking knocking on the door of something crazy. That's back before cell phones. That's back before, a lot of things. So to see something of that level would be...
Yeah, everybody's like, this guy's been watching way too much Mystery Science Theater or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So they basically, when the craft got a little bit closer to them, and they decided to speed away again, and they heard a strange beeping sound. They kept hearing beeping. And then they reportedly fell into a daze. Then they awoke and realized that they were just out of Concord, New Hampshire, which is 35 miles from where they had been. 4 hours had passed. And then they decided they absolutely had to report this. So the next day, they reported it to the National Investigations Committee on Aerial Phenomena. That's these guys right here. They decided that they needed to report that, which I absolutely agree. I don't know, though, if I necessarily feel like I would have reported it. You know what I mean? Because, like, who's really going to believe that? You know what I mean? Right. It's pretty fucking outrageous. Anyways.
Can we, real quick, Bo, I'm sorry, can we just take a pause and just acknowledge a couple of these folks? Our boy Tim. Neutron. Yes, we did see that Danhausen recently had a kid.
Yes.
Very happy for him and his family. And you know what? We're going to come back to this one. I'm sure we'll get to that.
Yeah, I like to talk about
later.
that too, though. Yep.
Yeah. Denim is asking Bo, what are you doing Saturday around lunchtime?
Eating lunch with you. You guys can come if you want to, too, but it's going to be a hell of a drive. It's all the way up in Oxford, Ohio. But...
I will be working. Justin, thank you, sir. Bird law does govern the known universe. Filibuster.
Bird law.
Done a lot of, law, various other lawyerings. But anyway, continue, Bo. I just wanted to address those before we get too far along.
Anyways, but after they decided they were going to report it, right, they first had to get home. So when they got home, it took them all the way till dawn to get home. And they had some odd sensations and impulses that they couldn't really explain. Betty insisted their luggage be kept near the back door rather than the main part of the house, and she couldn't explain why she wanted it to be that way. Their watches stopped working. They never worked again. The leather strap for the binoculars that they were using was torn in half, although they could not recall why it was torn, how it tore. The toes of his best dress shoes were scraped, like something had dragged the shoes kind of like forward. He was compelled to also even examine his genitals over and over again, which is one of the craziest things about this story. He was compelled to compulsively examine his genitals into the bathroom, although he found nothing unusual every time. So they
Bro, just say you like jerking your gherkin and get it over with. You don't got to make up the whole story.
That's what I'm saying. So
aliens made me do it, man.
Aliens are making me do this, Betty. Chill out. I'm busy. Anyways, they decided that they had to be contaminated with something. So they decided to take long showers to remove this possible contamination. And then each decided to draw pictures of what they had observed. And that's why I've got a photo right here. This is actually a drawing from Barney. This is what he saw. Those are the wings coming out the side. That's what they say they saw. That's you see Delcy down there agreeing as well. I just gotta say she looks like a good girl.
Hell of an artist.
But yeah, that's what he saw there. So he they
hold on. Did the dog draw that?
Yeah, the dog drew it. It was pretty cool. The dog had thumbs. It was pretty cool. No, that was a drawing from Barney. Anyways, they decided that they wanted to figure out what that 4 hours of missing time was, because once that beeping happened, they phased out and they woke up 35 miles away. They wanted to figure out what happened. So they decided to go see like a memory regression guy. They put him on hypnosis. Yeah. And they decided to, basically try to figure out what it was through, what do they call it? Dream regression therapy. So they made it into the interview, and they started writing down the details as they go. And Betty starts reciting dreams that she's been having and how they encountered a roadblock in one of these dreams, and all these men surrounded the car. She lost consciousness but struggled to regain it, and then she realized she was being forced by two small men to walk through a forest and had Barney walking behind her. And there were four men that were 5'4", wearing blue uniforms with caps similar worn to those from military cadets, but their skin was dark gray, and they had prominent nose and bluish lips. So they kind of looked like aliens, but they also kind of looked human. They weren't quite the grays that we are used to. This is a drawing. They hired somebody to draw what they saw, and this is a drawing very similar to what they saw, but picture human, more human skin features, if you will. And that's what they reported that they saw. So in this regression therapy stuff, they also found out that they showed them a map, and Betty claimed to be able to recreate this map. So she drew this map on a whiteboard, and on the whiteboard she drew just dots, what looked like nonsense. And then through a little bit of research, they found out the dots she drew almost lined up perfectly with the Zeta Reticuli star system, which is basically, I'm sure you've probably heard of Zeta Reticuli before, or heard that word in some way, shape, or form. It is one of the closer areas to us, a closer galaxy or whatever you call it, not galaxy, solar system, the closest
Solar system.
star system near us. And it matched that. So there's a lot of people that believe that that is probably the most likely truest story of alien abduction, based on the map, based on the fact that both of these people were, reputable citizens. They're both, college people, you know what I mean? They both had college degrees. They were both learned people, very smart, had no reason to really make anything up, and didn't really make anything else up before or after. So a lot of people believe that this is one of the most true stories. And it's from 1961. I think there has something to say about that. You know what I mean? It seems a little fishy to me. What do you guys think?
I mean, I was kind of thinking like, okay, these people got some issues. The dots thing, explainable, yeah, but also, I don't know, if she's like learned, she could have very easily, studied the star system or whatever and just been like, this is what I saw, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Could they have been drugged and hallucinated?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like they got their hands on some LSD or something and woke up 35 miles away, and they're like,
60s.
See, I often wonder when things like that happen, there's something else they're trying to hide. Like they hit and killed somebody and hid the body hours away.
Right.
Made up this whole nonsense so they could have a reason why they were in this area, but not be, you know what I mean? I don't know.
And then the moment they start talking about it, everybody's like, okay, Betty, all right, Barney, go home now. It's all right.
There's actually several books and even a movie or two that are made after this. The guy named Robert Schaefer released a book with archived documents relating to this from the police officers and a couple FBI investigations. There was a couple, like I said, there's a couple books. There's a show called The Outer Limits. They did a episode kind of based on it called The Bolero Shield, if you want to check it out. It was first broadcast back in 1960 something, apparently. Crap.
And here, I'll say this too. I'm not like a denier by any means. I absolutely believe that I feel like that's really arrogant to think we're the only intelligent life in the universe. Like, that's insane. Like, we're just it, there's something out there, someone, something, whatever you want to call it. There's definitely shit in Area 51. Let's be real. But there's also stories that people tell, and it's like, okay, you're just making shit up or hiding shit, compared to, oh yeah, something might actually happen.
Directly after all this happened, the Hills went back to their regular lives. They were willing to discuss the UFO encounter with friends, family, and the occasional UFO researcher and anyone who really wanted to speak to them about it. But the Hills apparently made no effort to seek publicity. They never seeked to make any money. They didn't sell their story. They gave their story freely. So it's almost like if they were making it up, why?
They had a good reason to.
They had a good reason to.
I have another theory.
Okay.
I could have very easily see them, because you got me with the military uniforms.
Yeah.
I could see something along the lines of they ran afoul of like a, secret military research base or something.
I was thinking that too.
Got drugged by the military, or
you never know what they
something. Got them all turned around, and then
they developed Agent Orange right around that same time. That was eventually deployed in Vietnam. So you never know what they could have. They could have just been tripping balls, and all the people that they saw were humans,
right?
They were
distorted from
Yep.
They're in military uniforms. I mean, that's
they ran across some
reality to it and some
government toxic waste dump, and were tripping balls for 4 hours.
That's a damn good theory.
Well, then see, that
I mean, to them, that was real as shit, though. I mean, that's what they
Right,
saw.
yeah.
So, I mean, how can you, like, I don't know.
No,
Well,
I can understand what they said they saw. I believe that they think they saw that, but I think that there is an explainable, theory to this that probably will never be confirmed because it was some shit that
Nobody's supposed to know.
Uncle Sam doesn't want us to know about.
Well, Barney did die a few years later of a cerebral hemorrhage on February 25th, 1969 at age 40.
Weird.
And then Betty went on to become a major celebrity in the UFO community, and she lived all the way up until October 17th of 2004 at age 85, never remarried once again.
Oh.
So.
Good on you, Betty. Okay, let me say this, since we're going to be doing a lot of these episodes. One of my favorite bits from one of my favorite comedians, Ron Funch, is he talks about
He's so funny.
Conspiracy theories, and he was like, I understand that not everybody believes in conspiracy theories, but you're telling me you don't believe in any? He's like, you just think the government's just batting 1,000 telling us the whole truth? Because he's like, and I'm gonna change the language in this, but he goes, the government is responsible for an entire country of people. I have one son, and I lie to that boy all the time.
Well, that is a absolute perfect what do you call it, segue, because some of the questions I have pre-made. The first one, how much does the government hide from us about aliens? What do you think?
So much.
What do you think the level is? Do you think that there is 100%? We know for a fact as a government, there are alien races among us and we hide it? Or do you feel like the government's like, yeah, we got tapes of UFOs and that's what they're hiding? Do you feel like they know, or they just have evidence that pretty much proves it?
I think they got some physical evidence going on.
Yeah.
No?
Because here's the thing. There are bases that we know about that are top secret, Area 51 being the most prominent. How about all the bases we don't know shit about that's in a barn in Kentucky somewhere? You know what I mean? Like the Pineapple Express weed experiments under the farm. You know what I mean? Like there's got to be so much of the shit like that out there that we don't know anything about. We don't know where they are. I truly believe it, and that's my truth.
Do you guys think that there are aliens living amongst us right now? Like,
I don't know about that.
Assimilated in our populace?
I don't know.
I don't know that I
So do you think there's any
like a V situation you're talking about?
Yeah, or more like the reptilians, you know what I mean? Do you believe that there's a secret race of different species of humans hiding amongst us?
I mean, never say never. There's some odd folks out there for sure.
I think it's more likely there's time travelers living amongst us.
Yeah, I feel like deja vu is too much of a thing. That it's just like something weird's going on. Yeah, of course.
Let's move on to this.
Cats are definitely aliens.
Bro, I think there are like cats, octopuses. There are certain creatures that I'm like, how the fuck?
Because here's the other thing. We always think of aliens as being humanoid life forms, right? Like when you first think of aliens, you immediately think little green guy, whatever, like of 2 arms, 2 legs, a body. How many animals are out there that can't talk are just aliens? Who knows? You know, octopuses could be the octopi, whatever you want to call them, could be the dominant race and they're just letting us live here. We don't know.
People are always like, oh, the great beyond is space. Motherfucker, you ever been to the bottom of the ocean? Nope. Because fuck that. That's the scary part. I'm not doing that.
It's insane, dude. There's so much undiscovered crap down there. And yeah, I mean, I think that it could very easily be, for all we know, mosquitoes are freaking aliens, dude. and they're just like, we're gonna fuck with these people forever.
So, this beautiful waterway right here. This is the Allagash Waterway. This is in Maine. It's a beautiful lake
I want
called
to go there.
Yeah, we should go. Dude, I would love to go to Eagle Lake with y'all and go fishing.
That
and
looks awesome.
Hopefully get abducted.
I want to go fishing.
I do not want to get abducted. I'm good.
No, really though, you wouldn't, like, if you knew for a fact that everything was going to be okay, there was no probes, and you knew you would come back, you wouldn't want to do that. That would be.
If I knew I was going to come back and wouldn't have any long-lasting, like, I'm going to have a brain aneurysm in 2 years, like Barney, like, yeah, I'd be cool with that.
None of the stories you really hear about are very pleasant, so I think I'm good.
So these 4 boys right here, well, 5. I don't know who the 5th guy is here. But
That's no boy. That's a man.
I don't know who the 5th guy is.
The boy on the bottom there's pulling his best Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park.
The top 4 though are Jack Wiener, Jim Wiener, Charlie Foltz, and Chuck Rapp. Why do you think I read their last names, bud?
Of course their name is Wiener.
Jack Wiener and Jim Wiener.
Jack Wiener.
Jack Wiener, dude.
What a name. That's
Anyways,
an all-timer name. Anyway, go ahead.
In August of 1976, these 4 young men embarked on a canoeing and camping trip in the remote Allagash Wilderness Waterway in Maine. On the night of August 20th, while fishing on Eagle Lake, they noticed a bright glowing object in the sky. Initially mistaking it for the moon, they soon realized it was some form of UFO emitting pulsing multicolored lights. As they signaled the craft with a flashlight, it approached them, and they experienced a significant loss of time and then woke up later near their campfire, which had burned down to embers, indicating that several hours had passed. So they kept this story to themselves. They kind of really didn't talk about it very much. And years later, the men began experiencing vivid nightmares and feelings of unease, prompting them to seek help from a hypnotherapist, Dr. Raymond Fowler. And under hypnosis, they all 4 individually recounted similar experiences of being taken aboard an alien craft where they underwent medical examinations. They described encounters with strange beings, including procedures involving the removal of tissue and other medical tests. The memories were traumatic and detailed, and it led to a shared narrative amongst the 4. So first off, before we get any farther in this, all 4 of them got the same story, and they came and told a doctor after.
Yeah, it's
initially is like bullshit. You know what I mean? Like
because I'm like, okay, they're on a canoe trip. It's the 70s. They're out at the lake in the middle of the wilderness. Right. They got a good bag of the.
Hey, let's do some acid on the lake.
I mean, it was supposed to be a 2-week expedition of hiking, canoeing, and rustic camping. A getaway from the city and all the schedules and shit. But
they ate the wrong berries or some shit. You know what I mean?
They got a different getaway.
Yeah. Wow. Again, though, I mean, it sounds like traumatic experience. Like, no.
Yeah. So, I mean, that blazingly bright star, it blinked out and they, like I said, they lost several hours, and their huge bonfire that they built that was at least 6 foot tall was all the way down to just embers. So however long it takes for a 6 foot tall pile of wood to burn,
Boys, don't be building 6 foot tall fires in the middle of the woods. Smokey the Bear is real. Okay.
Yeah.
I've met him.
Let's have some common sense.
Oh shit!
It was a different time.
It definitely was a different time. So in these nightmares that these guys claim to have, they said that they saw 4-fingered insect-like beings with long necks, large heads, and metallic glowing eyes with no lids. In one of his more vivid night terrors, he was being examined by them as Jim, Chuck, and Charlie sat on a nearby bench, unable to intervene. Seemed as if they were paralyzed. He and his brother started reading up on UFOs and strange phenomena because they were so scared about these shared dreams they were having, and they eventually attended a conference hosted by noted ufologist Raymond Fowler. that's the same guy that did their stuff or whatever. This just sounds like to me that it's a bunch of people. Hey man, let's make up a story so people will listen to us. They went to a UFO convention and that's where they met the doctor. That's, I don't know.
Either that or he is, it could be a guided hypnosis to where he could be help feeding them.
This is directly,
then he has
mentalists, and hypnosis is especially on weak-minded individuals, is a very powerful tool.
Yeah. This is a direct quote from his hypnosis, according to his transcripts. It says that each of the men described being trapped in a tube. It was dark, swirling, and sparkling with dust-like particles at the end of it. And they were somewhere with numerous machines, silver examination tables, seemingly endless hallways and chambers. It seems to me like they were the first to report what half the stories on X-Files are. And it sounds like every basic stereotype, the bug guys, the bug creatures, every time they tried to focus on the aliens, all four of them reported that it was like they couldn't focus because they were blurry.
Yeah.
Like everything about the aliens themselves were blurry. I don't know. They all recounted being naked in a zombie-like state. They obeyed telepathic commands. They submitted to intrusive, sometimes painful pokes and prods of their eyes, fingers, legs, toes. Yes, their genitals and butts as well. They didn't speak. They didn't move. They couldn't speak. They couldn't move. So with something that traumatic, that's the point where I'm like, maybe they are telling the truth. Because if I was just making shit up, I wouldn't just tell. I don't know, man. That just seems like
here's okay. Think about this though. It's the 70s. Being gay is still very taboo. Even though we've had the summer of love and all that good stuff. What if they go out there and they're all like tripping and all this poking and prodding and everything is just them just having a Brokeback Mountain moment on the lake. And this is how they, regress it and form it into something. No, we didn't do that.
I think that's more believable than what they say.
You know what I mean?
That's an interesting theory, Eric. I'll give you that. Maybe they just liked each other that night.
You never know.
Indeed. So, towards the end of this agonizing experience, which they say lasted about 2 hours, the aliens forced them to enter a portal, and then they felt the sensation of downward movement. And then all of a sudden, they were back in the boat, still naked. None of them paddled. This canoe seemed pushed by an ethereal force and made it to the shore. And then when they were finally back on shore, they watched the fireball of the craft disappear, and it was over. Pretty crazy when you really think about it. There were apparently witnesses, too, that said that they saw the craft other than them. So the craft was spotted by other people that were on this lake. But only those four, said that they had been...
It's because they fucking signaled them down with the flashlight. Like, the moment you said that, I'm like, well, yep, there you go. If it's real, then they had it coming.
You asked for it, brother.
Yeah. Flash your blinkers, dude.
I'll say this, too. So, do you guys ever watch any Doctor Who?
Oh, yeah. It's bigger on the inside.
Okay. Steve, are you familiar with it would be the Matt Smith Doctor. I can't remember what he called them, but they were like an alien race that, like, if you looked at them, you
Weeping
forgot.
Angels.
Huh?
The Weeping Angels.
No, not the Weeping Angels. Not like if you're not looking at them, they can move. It was like a race of alien, and when you came in, like when they touched you or something like that, you forgot they existed.
What a power.
Right?
Or something. It was something of that nature. I can't remember what it is, but I remember watching that episode and being like, there's no way to disprove that. That could very well be a thing. Like, we could be seeing aliens all the time, but just not remember them. If that's a thing that happens.
Wow. Take a quick side shift here. You talked about something that's disprovable. Allow me to share with you something that is not provable and not disprovable.
Breaking up. You said allow me to share with you, and I couldn't hear anything after that.
Allow me to share with you something that you can't prove and something you can't disprove. The universe was created last Thursday. Everything that you thought you lived all the way up to last Thursday, every memory we have together, every memory we share together was all put into our brains, and we think we lived it all. But in reality, we were just created last Thursday. It's called last Thursdayism. You can't prove it and you can't disprove it. It's a conundrum when you talk about weird things, man. It'll blow your fucking mind when you really try to think about it, because it could be true and there's no way you could prove it. Even though you have film of maybe stuff you did before, who's to say that wasn't put there and everything started last Thursday? You can't prove it and you can't disprove it. And that scares the shit out of me. And that's why I try to stay away from things that make me think harder than the devil's lettuce. We'll just put it that way.
I say that might be a little.
Yeah, you kind of missed me with that one.
Just think about it.
There's science and stuff.
Thought about it. Yeah.
The science and stuff that you know about was loaded into your head last Thursday.
Well, whoever loaded it in there sucks, because they quit sending me to work.
Yeah,
making me pay bills and shit.
You only think you've been at work for so long. You've only been there since last Thursday.
No. I've been there.
The
No.
whole fucked
Trust
up
me.
Groundhog Day I don't want to fuck with.
I've been there.
The last story today is another beautiful place. This is Ilkley. The photo is not as high definition as I would want it to be. Jesus Christ, look at that shitty ass. That is a famous place. Ilkley Moors in the UK. It's been cited as one of the strongest and most beautiful landscapes in the entire of the UK. And there's a alleged UFO incident that took place there December 1st, 1987. A retired police officer, and we're going to use the name Philip Spencer, which is 100% a pseudonym because he did not want to use his real name to affect his career. A retired police officer claimed that he was abducted by aliens while on a morning walk and briefly held in their craft before returning to the moor. The man took a photograph of the moor after they let him go, and it shows an alien that abducted him. This photograph subsequently became a news story in the UK, and it's been cited as one of the strongest pieces of evidence that we have extraterrestrials have visited Earth. It is also described as incredibly blurry. Skeptics have dismissed this incident as a hoax, saying that the photograph shows something else, such as a man or a cardboard cutout. So before we go any further, allow me to show you this photo. I'll show you the original photo in the black and white entirety first. That is the photo itself right there. If you look kind of close, you can kind of maybe see what looks like a figure. This is an up-close version of that.
Yeah.
Looks like fucking Gumby.
He's here, and he will be sure to play. Gumby.
Fuck.
According to Mr. Spencer, he was walking up a small hill when he noticed an odd-looking figure just up the trail ahead of him. It was dark green, about 4 foot tall, with an oversized head and long, thin arms. The creature made a gesture at Spencer, which he took to be a gesture telling him to stay away, but he took out his camera and took a picture of it anyways. The creature ran away, and Spencer followed it. He lost the creature in the fog, but then he saw a craft rise from the moor and disappear into the sky. He described the craft as being of whitish color and consisted of 2 saucer-shaped parts that were attached to each other, one being on top of the other. He said there was a loud hum, and he did not take a photograph of the craft. No. Additionally, the compass that he was taken with was pointing in the opposite direction after that. So he had interfered with some form of magnetic field that permanently altered his compass. Yeah, with it being a cop, part of me wants to give that more credence, but I also live in 2025 where I understand what happens when we give anyone with any power any credence, because it could just be nonsense. I think that's what the sad part about this is. A lot of this feels like nonsense.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they
Why
like
is
these,
the photo always inconclusive?
right?
That's my problem.
To be fair, it was 1987.
Yeah, but it's all every time.
That was
Like even we'll do a Fathers on the Fringe about, Sasquatch, Bigfoot. Every fucking one is it could be me walking through the woods with a gorilla suit on.
Yeah,
It's
or what
just-
if Sasquatch is just blurry, like the aliens reported with the Alleghenies?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Hell yeah,
he hums at a different frequency.
Yeah.
that could be it. I mean, we 100% have a frequency, a vibration in our bodies. You know what I mean? Maybe they're at a different frequency than we are.
They live on a just slightly different plane of reality.
Yeah, there you go.
That could be the answer to it all. In the initial days following that alleged incident, Spencer made contact with UFO researchers, and they claimed to be extremely skeptical of his story, but at first they came to believe him. He handed over a copy of the photo to the investigators. And though the story made news, he still wanted to keep his anonymity, so he decided to use the name Philip Spencer. He never made any money from the story. He never showed his photo, though. Never did any in-person interviews. And he did hypnosis as well. But now on his hypnosis, his account changed a little bit. So he said that upon seeing the creature on the hill, he was instantly paralyzed. So that he was lifted up a few feet and pulled into the craft. When he entered the craft, the voice told him to be calm. A couple of green aliens then performed medical experiments on him, inserting in items into his nose and mouth. Then he was giving a tour of the craft, shown a film, and the film showed apocalyptic imagery with nuclear explosions, famines, and floods. Then he was shown a second film. He's never revealed the contents of the second film, saying that the aliens abducted him do not want humanity to know. Then he was returned to the Ilkley where he then took the famous photograph. You know what that sounds? It sounds like he told a fucking bar story to his guys, like, we're hanging out right now. He's like, dude, I fucking got abducted by an alien. And then his bar friend was so drunk, he was like, I'm telling my bud Jeff, who runs the paper, dog, let me get that photo. And he took a picture of his Gumby fucking figure out in the fucking...
That's literally what it looks like.
And that saddens me because I entered this thinking, I Googled, and these were three of the most recurring on the top 10 UFO abductions, and
I don't even feel like these are in line with like a lot of the stories that are like the ones that make you really think like alien abduction is an actual thing, because there's so many accounts that are just the details are so eerily similar to one another, and it's just, and that's the kind of thing, the consistency of it, and everybody does say that, why is there not more evidence and this and that? And it could be everything we said here tonight, that it's, they have the ability to not be seen,
Yeah.
and the short glimpses that people do have, or the slight images are just, a happenstance.
Maybe their technology is so good that when we take a picture of them, it fucks the picture up. Who knows?
Yeah.
I've
also had the thought that, what if, I mentioned time traveling earlier, but what if, these aren't actually aliens? What if this is just a very, very future version of the human race that's evolved, and coming back and trying to, correct mistakes or gather information for whatever, research purposes.
Very well could be. This could be some time travel shit going on. You know what I mean? Like you said earlier.
I believe there's definitely alien interaction. I mean, you look at a place like, I don't know if you know about Nome, Alaska, but Nome, Alaska is a town of 3,800 people. And over a span of a few years, the FBI visited there more than any other place in the entire United States of America because of paranormal reports. 24 people died in Nome, Alaska, and a lot of them are tied to alien reports. There's actually a movie with Mila Jovovich called The Fourth Kind.
Yeah.
And it's based about on one of the more famous abductions from Nome, Alaska.
I thought that town sounded familiar, but Alaska's a crazy place though, man. They have like weeks of darkness and stuff like that, man.
It's
I want to bring this up too because we're kind of in that vein. Do they just take a random person, or are there qualifications to getting taken? Assuming abductions happen, assuming all these stories are real, all these people seem to be very random. So, like, what would their qualifications be, or is it just random?
I have literally looked at the night sky and begged. See, you guys say you wouldn't want to be abducted. I fucking want it so bad. I would love to just be
That
driving
checks out.
over a bridge and Godzilla to rise out of the water. I would love dragons to come in. I would love for 700-foot tall Cherokee Native American Indians flying in on fucking killer whales coming out of the sky. I want something fucking outrageous to happen. You know what I mean? I don't care what it is. I want the Power Rangers to fight a fucking giant platypus monster or something. I don't know. I've always wanted something crazy to happen. So I want this stuff to be real.
Yeah.
But, as we
Can you imagine that, though? Can you imagine if, what if, the Avengers was real and that shit actually happened on Earth? How fucking traumatic that would be for humankind. It's like, yeah, we made it through it, but...
and they kind of touched on it a little bit in the movies, like how much damage they're doing to the city and everything like that. But it doesn't even begin to describe how horrific that would be. I mean, all those buildings that get crashed in, you know how many people would die? During the boss fight?
I'm out making cold calls. Next thing you know, a spaceship comes flying into the office.
Right.
Yeah, how much unemployment there would be? Like, why the fuck am I going to fucking...
You know how many people would be like, I'm never going back to work again. This is something that can happen? No. I'm done.
There's an ICP song called "If I Was God," and it has a line in it that I've always chuckled about. He said, "If I was God, I'd put 75 real Jason Voorhees out there just to have a fresh element of fear in the air." And then that's what this world needs. If everyone knew there were 75 Jasons, you know what I mean? And you need to watch out because at any moment, one of those 75 Jasons can kill you. How much different would you live your life? You know what I mean?
Getting in the car in the morning and going to work.
That's the type of world. This type of world that not that I want to live in. But
ultimately, to answer the question, though, if there's qualifications, they're out of my realm. You know what I mean? I'm sure the aliens may have some qualifications, but they're probably not qualifications we'd think of.
Yeah, maybe a DNA.
For all we know, it's toenail length or something. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Clip your toenails, kids.
Speaking of questions, we got 2 questions before we wrap this thing up. Let's hit you guys with the first one here.
Do it.
Are any of these stories real? Did any abductions ever happen ever?
I believe something happened. I don't believe it was aliens.
Do you believe something happened to all 3 of these cases? I believe something definitely happened to Betty and Barney.
I think something definitely happened to Betty and Barney. The guys on the lake, I'm going to stick with my acid
loving
repressed homosexuality theory. That's what I'm sticking with on that. And then I don't know, the cop guy is just like, I don't know, that's a weird one.
Yeah. Especially because he didn't show his name, but that's also part of me, maybe he's doing that because he doesn't want everyone to fuck with him.
But and his story changed, so it's even the cop would say, if your story changed, you're full of shit, right? And they know you're guilty. So it's his story changed, and then it became more exciting. Come on, man, that just says you're garnering for attention.
Yeah.
The first story, Barney and Betty, Rubble, they sound
Rubble.
Hey, Fred. I honestly, the theory that we came up with about the military kind of testing thing, I mean, Why do I feel like that? I feel so confident, like something like that is the actual story behind it.
I mean, you said they were in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Okay, imagine that. Where's the last place you think there would be a secret military facility?
Some field in New Hampshire.
Some field in fucking New Hampshire. You know what I mean? And they were driving, let the dog out. Oh, just go pee. And it's a, field where they're growing shit for Agent Orange or Agent Turquoise or whatever the fuck they're making. They lose a bunch of time. They're 35 miles away. How did we get here? Well, the government found you and you guys were tripping balls and they picked you up and dropped you off somewhere else.
And the people that claim attention for them, man, like they did everything they could to stay out of the limelight. They were already dealing with the issues of being an interracial couple in the 60s.
Right.
They struggled with that, so they didn't want any of the attention. You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
I think they believe 100% that it's real.
Yes, that's where I'm at. Yep.
So I don't know what really happened to them, but I believe that they believe it is real. So, I mean, and it's obviously traumatic to them. So
I believe they saw what they saw.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's a lot of these stories, though. I mean, maybe not these three particular stories again, but, there's just so many accounts that everything is so similar. Now, can you attribute that to just the information being out there and it's, subconsciously in people's head and they have some sort of experience and the brain, the human conscious, creates that the cope with, cope
I
with
don't want to deal with the actual traumatic event, so I'm going to create this fantasy story in my head.
And I mean, could it be something like that to where it's a human thing and that's, there's so many people that have experienced it, maybe it isn't aliens, maybe it's just in the human brain. Some weird chemical released, caused by trauma.
Okay. With that being said, our final question is more of a broad question because it could kind of apply to several points of your life.
I like them broad.
Do you have any personal experiences with aliens or UFOs? I have exactly one, and it is absolutely. I saw 3 red, and they were like a ombre red, like a darkish orangish red. Okay, 3 red dots in a triangle formation, spinning and doing a whole bunch of shit. And it was late at night, and it was like very bright, and I was probably 13, 14 years old. It was too far away for it to be, and it was obviously way before drones. You know what I mean? Since I'm an old fogey. But it was way before drones, and it was moving way too fast and way too far away for it to be anything that I knew what it was, which is 100% what a UFO is. So I saw a UFO. It was an unidentified flying object, some kind of experimental plane. I do live right next to the Butler County Airport, some type of something, maybe. I don't know, but I do know I couldn't explain it. What about you boys?
Yeah, I mean, you were probably only on like your 17th monster at that point.
Monsters didn't even exist back then.
I'm just giving you a hard
time. He made Kool-Aid. He made Kool-Aid with 2 cups of sugar.
Yeah.
By the way, this time last week was our episode with Gregory Iron. I've not had a Red Bull since that day.
Hell
so
yeah.
7 days without a Red Bull. Woo.
Rock and roll, brother.
Anyways, what about you, Mike? Any alien
actually, I had something similar to what you said. Like a triangular form of light. Actually, it was down in Cumberland on a fishing trip with a buddy of mine when we were kids, and I'm not sure if he remembers it or not. But I was always a sky watcher because I've been obsessed with space, and I wanted to be an astronaut and go to space camp. When I was a kid. But yeah, definitely saw something we couldn't explain down there. But I've also seen shooting stars. And this was not that. I've seen meteor showers, and this wasn't that. And it was, we were old enough to be cognitive of what a UFO was, and we were down there pretty good, down out in God's country, and we definitely both saw it, acknowledged it, freaked the fuck out.
Do you believe there are aliens? Do you believe we're alone? Do you believe there are other species?
Yes, I believe that the Greys are an actual alien race.
Okay. There's a lot of evidence. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
But here's what fucks me up, man, is like everything that people talk about. Like, I can't say that I've ever experienced alien abduction. Okay. But I suffer, occasionally. I haven't, it's been a while, but it used to be a lot, sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
And that goes in line a lot with what, people who, that experience these alien abductions experience, and being like, knowing these stories. And again, I, saw this movie Communion as a kid. Like Brian mentioned earlier in the comments, Fire in the Sky, that kind of thing, man. And those put these images in my head. And when you have sleep paralysis, and that's immediately where my mind went, was like, oh my God, I'm being abducted.
Ugh.
So I absolutely terrified of being abducted by aliens since I was a kid.
What about you, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, I've never had a UFO experience or anything like that, but I definitely believe in them. Like I said before, I think it's pretty arrogant to believe that we're it. And also, part of me is like, man, that'd be really sad if we're it. So, it's kind of, I believe, but it's also built on a hope that there's other cool shit out there. There's other cool beings, people, whatever you want to call it. I wish the world governments didn't suck and we could just, know about this stuff.
Well,
but
as funny as you should mention that, because today, which is July 10th, 2025, in case you're watching this not live, today in a congressional hearing, Trump's cabinet is putting forth to being full, what do you call it?
Transparent.
Full transparent on all UFO knowledge, and says that America could handle it. Those are exact quotes. Literally, as I texted you guys as we were preparing for this episode, it was literally happening right then. I was like, how serendipitous is it for us to do our first episode of our Fathers on the Fringe, do it on aliens, and on the day in which the government's like, hey, maybe we should tell these guys.
The aliens, they think they can come here. They don't want to come here. We'll deal with them. No problem.
Let me ask you guys this though. Like, if the government decides overnight, yep, we're gonna just let everybody know, and they come out tomorrow and announce it to everybody, yes, aliens exist and everything you've heard is true and all that, how do you think people would react?
Nobody cares.
I think most of Americans won't really care, but I believe that large religious groups, both in America and across the world, will have a lot of issues, because a lot of religions are pretty much self-contained. You know what I mean?
I had no explanation for that.
Yeah, there's going to be some issues with a lot of people's whole life thoughts and everything. So, you know what I mean?
But as a society, we're not going to collapse or freak out and go into panic and stuff like that.
I feel like at this point, everybody just be like, yeah, duh.
The CIA released videos of UFOs.
Yeah.
The CIA, this is not even like an exaggeration.
Yeah, didn't they already release this like a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
The CIA says they have a craft that is not from this world. That is exact words from their document that you can go look at right now that they released. They said they are in possession of a craft not from this world. So maybe abduction's real. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just a bunch of rich people piloting their different little vehicles they've created over time. Who knows? I don't know. I know one thing.
I know UFOs are real because there's one over in Covington.
And if I throw something in the air and you don't know what that is, sorry to say it, pal, that's a UFO. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Unidentified. It was flying, and it's a fucking object. Neener, chicken diener. With that being said, I think this was a good first episode for this, boys. We've got different topics that we're going to go through.
Dude, I can't wait for more of these. This was so much fun. This was
people
You know
want.
when we need to do this is whenever one or multiple of us is like feeling real anxious or stressed or anything, and we just want an episode that we don't have to be all on the ball for. This was just a fun fucking discussion, dude.
Says the man who didn't write an 11-page script, sir.
Okay. I didn't ask you to write an 11-page script.
No, but I want these to
Hey.
be good, man.
Thank you for putting
Thank
this
you
together.
for doing that.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep doing it because I believe in us, and I believe that we have a good, like, we had a solid viewing this whole hour, a solid amount of people viewing. I'm sure a lot of people are going to check it out afterwards as well. I want these to be evergreen in a way. I definitely already am looking forward to listening to it tomorrow, so I can pick out the points where I was weaker and where I was stronger and try to figure out. But something tells me, with as good as I feel that this went the first episode, 10 episodes of this down the road, we're going to be whatever the topic is, and we're going to be able to just really get some good stuff out.
I like to see like some topic experts, and join the conversation if possible sometimes too.
I am going to do some research of my own because there's a few topics that it's not really like conspiracy, but like Atlantis. Dude,
Well, that's why we went with Fringe, because we were gonna, what were we gonna call it? Paranormal Padres. Yeah. So that was sticking us in that category. Fringe means it could be fucking anything. We can talk about ghosts inside of Nintendo cartridges.
But I don't know, like the story of Atlantis and stuff like that. Like I just
yeah.
You hear all this stuff and it's like it could be. Ain't nobody been to the bottom of that ocean. We don't know how far down they are,
I was actually, we were talking about the ocean. I was actually talking about that as an episode. It's funny you say that.
Mysteries of the ocean. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
and there's so many of these that we can go through. And I will say, some of these topics that we go into, we're going to go over, topics a lot of people have gone over before. And a lot of people are going to dig deeper than us. And a lot of people are going to be better than us. But I'll tell you one thing. We're going to give you genuine opinions. We're going to give you genuine reactions. And we're going to give you how we feel and how we think about anything and everything we can come across. And if you're sitting here like, man, I really want them to go over fucking zombies from Venezuela or whatever the fuck. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, whatever.
Let's talk about the chupacabra.
Yeah. I don't care. We'll look into it. Give us something that's worth researching. I can get an hour conversation out of these guys with anything. I will write a script just about any particular woo-woo topic you want, and we can make these episodes all day, every day. So, with that,
I love it. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great. I was so fucking nervous. It's like the first time when you guys interviewed me. I was nervous. I was like, oh God. You know what I mean?
I kind of want to go back and watch that episode now.
We should. We should do a watch along.
That'd be a good watch along because we could put that on the screen with us.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. It's not like the WWE one where we have to tell them to push pause with us and shit.
Yeah. We should do that. Pull up like some 5-minute clips of like some greatest hits, and like we can just sit and comment on our greatest hits.
I'm not exactly sure what episode it is for us, but we're getting really close to 200. I think we're at like 180 something. I have to double check our database, which is cool. Which we're over 200.
Or have we? Or did we just started doing it last Thursday?
Bro, last Thursdayism is so real.
No,
bro.
it's bullshit.
You can't.
Total bullshit.
You can't disprove it.
Seif, as your wife so eloquently put it, you ain't right.
Boy, you ain't right.
Boy, you ain't right.
They released like a 3.5 minute for the new King of the Hill today.
Dude, I was just about to say, I just watched it. It's so good.
There's also a split second of old John Redcorn in there. Shout out to Jonathan Joss, man. I'm glad to see that he's going to be on 4 episodes. It's going to be a little bittersweet to see him in those, but
bro, when Boomhauer like tackles Hank and hugs him and is like, the king is back.
He's like, I guess I'm getting a hug now.
Oh.
When I find out how to kick somebody's ass through Zoom.
Bobby trying to kiss other girls.
Hank, you're retired. You don't have to wake up at the crack of dawn every day. You think I retired just to sleep my life away like some Nepo baby?
I think it's going to be the most successful reboot that Hulu's done yet. Right now, it lands with Futurama, right? And if you ask me, but I think this might beat it.
Dude, I'll say this too. I saw.
Hey,
All
my bitches love me.
That's right. Did you see another? I don't know if you guys ever watched the show, if you're fans at all. They're doing a Scrubs reboot.
Really?
Really?
Girls.
Well, they did enough fucking goddamn AT&T home internet.
Yeah.
AT&T, I don't know what.
T-Mobile, yeah.
That's enough right there. That's been
Get that money.
satiating me. So let's get some more.
I was talking with Mike, you know him, Jason Webster. I was talking with him about it because he's a big Scrubs guy, and he's the one that sent it to me. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about this because the Scrubs series finale, to me, is one of the all-time greatest series finales in terms of wrapping up a long-running show and me being happy about the ending.
It's hard to do.
Which is hard to do. So I'm like, I kind of don't want him to touch it, but also more Scrubs. I'm here for it.
Yeah. As long as it's done right, man. That's all you can hope for.
Yeah.
You know what show needs a final movie really, really, really bad? My Name is Earl.
Yeah.
God, I wanted that to end the right way.
Boys, would you quit?
Be really
Come
cool.
on, man.
You guys got anything else before we wrap this up?
No, I'm cool, man. This was fun. A lot of fun. Can't wait to do more of these.
Yeet. They'll be on the schedule.
Hells yeah.
Go back and check out some of our old episodes, man. I feel like
a
the
lot of good
Gregory
stuff.
Iron episode hasn't gotten nearly the love I feel like it should, man. That dude was a great conversation, and fucking inspirational story wouldn't even be, the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this and you haven't gone and watched that one, go watch that one or listen. It's on all the podcast platforms.
Go check out the Big Dave from B105 episode because he's coming back July 31st, and we're going to do a Bengals breakdown with Big Dave, and we're going to go over all of the games for this next season of football. But what's crazy is I didn't realize this. We booked it at exactly the same time as the first preseason game. So
Perfect.
yeah, the Chargers will be facing somebody. I can't remember now. The Chargers versus someone is going to be on as
Detroit,
the very first.
I think.
Huh?
I think it's Detroit.
Yeah, Chargers versus Detroit, and it starts at 8:00. So does our episode, so you can listen to us and watch the game in the background. You know what I mean? Perfect.
We're much more interested in that game.
So it's
I'll tell you what.
I don't know.
I want to talk about that on that episode. I'm still so torn as to whether, because I don't watch preseason games. I don't care because nothing happens, and I'm like, what's the point?
Well, especially with the Bengals, because in the years past they haven't played any of their starters.
Yeah.
I think this year may be a little different than that. To get into Bengals talk, but I feel like you watch preseason to kind of watch. It's more for the people that are watching your undrafted free agents, your
Because they got to make final cuts before season.
I guess that's more for the hardcore fans, maybe.
Yeah,
it's just nice to see football though.
Yeah,
I agree. God, I can't wait for the NFL to come back.
I hate to wish the summer away, but gosh, I can't wait for football.
This is
now
that
I can't wait to kick your asses in fantasy football again.
I'm so
we're in the month. We need to set the date for that. We're in the month for sure, though. July 31st. We're 21 days away from the first preseason game. Damn, son. 3 weeks from football?
Yeah.
What?
And if you ain't watching that quarterback series on Netflix yet, you should be.
Has it
Because
started? I thought it hadn't came out yet.
oh yeah, it's out.
Oh shit! Like
You
know,
ain't
good.
watched it, bro? Oh my god,
I thought it
it's
wasn't out yet.
so
right?
good.
Every episode's out.
Every episode's out.
Oh,
Don't plan
Hell
on
yeah.
sleeping.
Joey.
We gotta go. I gotta get back to that.
Yeah,
My wife's
we're
dying to
already
watch
at
it with
9
me.
minutes talking nonsense after the episode.
All right. Well, we have been the dWo podcast. I am Big Rig Eric Maffey. He is Mr. Magnificent Mike Martin. He is the wrestling t-shirt guy, Bo Cephas. You can check us out on all the socials at DWO_podcast, Facebook at the dWo podcast, TikTok at dWo_pod,
Get that dad merch at Pro Wrestling Tees, T Public, or message us directly. Like, subscribe, listen, follow, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? And until next time, top dads out.
Dad, World Order.